Now, definitely, political science, like history, is a very vast subject. It's a vast subject. And we humorously say that anything that happens under the sun is politics. సూర్యుడి కింద ఏం జరిగినా కానీ అదంతా కూడా రాజకీయాలే. So it's a very vast subject, no doubt about it. But surely your knowledge about political science, if you get into the civil service, would make you more efficient and more committed in your job. So a lot of people join the civil service because they could get into the civil service because their academic knowledge, their background is very strong. But a lot of them, unfortunately, they fail to do justice as a civil servant. In a country like India, where most of the people, still illiterate. Of course, government statistics won't accept it, and they say that more than 60% of the people in this country are literate. I don't think they are literate. But majority of them are still poor. Right. It is still a tradition-bound society. Definitely, awareness about politics, some knowledge about political science will make you a better servant, a better civil servant, and also make you a better person in the society. You will be equipping yourself with better skills. Right? And like any other optional subject, it has 2 papers. And I will be dealing with first paper. Sirs, you are lucky to have 2 young people who are willing to share the burden. So they will be dealing with section A and section B in the second paper. And just to introduce myself, my name is Krupadanam. I have been in this field for the past 30 to 40 years. Let me put it 30 years, at least in this institute. Right. I have been teaching political science and public administration. And to start with, I am a science student, CBJ, BSc. But I was never interested in science. My parents have forced me to study science subject, my father. After my BSc, I was just an average student. Failed BSc. Usually BSc students, they don't fail. I failed. With great difficulty, I made it. And I went to North India to pursue higher studies. I could not get admission with my average marks in science in any postgraduate courses. Luckily, Nagpur University was offering public administration. And admissions are open even for the BSc, BCom and anybody. I was lucky to get admission. And the coincidence is that the professor of that university, public administration, was from Harvard University. And he happened to be from Guntur, I didn't know. But subsequently I came to know about it. He is Srinivasa Murthy. Right? And it was such a coincidence that we studied in the same college in Guntur, Andhra Christian College. I was lucky. And he is the one who encouraged me to go abroad. After I joined my alma mater as a lecturer. And I worked for 6 years there and then moved to Canada. I had my master's degree in political science because I have only public administration degree, postgraduate degree here in India. From Canada, I migrated to United States of America. and could pursue MPhil and PhD in political science. Returned home, I didn't want to stay there. Joined the same institution, worked till my retirement. Meanwhile, I was invited to join as a part-time faculty here. My association with this institution, especially with R.C.Reddy garu, is very close and very personal. I enjoy teaching. Right. I'll be dealing with the first paper, political theory and Indian politics. And second paper will be dealt by my learned colleagues. They will be keeping you busy in the sense that they would serve as a mentor also, your mentors. So any doubt, not just the subject, but even your personal problems. I always tell my students that I'm a doctor. Doctor in the sense that not my PhD. Right. A doctor is always concerned about the health of the patients. You are not a patient, but still you have a lot of problems. A teacher should be like a doctor. I enjoy being a doctor, sharing the problems of my students, doing my best to alleviate them. Right. So I hope you will enjoy the classes. My colleagues would take care of you. Thank you very much. Right, from tomorrow onwards, we will have regular class at 11. What is the time? Okay, 11:30. Political science, because I have class public administration till 11 o'clock. So I need a break. So from 11:30 to 1. Okay, first paper. Right. Please, sir.
Hello, hi. Good morning, everyone. My name is Vishwanath. So, I have a lot of similarities and contrasts to what just now Krupadanam sir said. I am also actually a science student. So, I do not have a political science background as such. But after my initial stint with completing my BTech and MTech, from prestigious institutions like IIT in India, I went on to pursue my dream of civil services examination, and I wrote my exam till 2022, where I could be successful in giving my interview in 2022 also, and I could get good marks in my PSIR optional also. Already by the time I started teaching PSIR, because my love for the subject made me start to read not only about the subject more, but also teach and discuss about the subject more. So my journey of teaching PSIR started almost 6 years back in 2019 itself. So from then on, I started teaching, interacting with people about PSIR, what are the trends in PSIR, and what is the changing nature of exam. So that is what is my experience with this paper. So, as political science faculty here, I deal with, by the way, I am also a PhD, currently a PhD. So, my stint as your faculty in PSIR will be dealing with 2B subject. In 2B, we will be dealing with India and the world. So, if you might have seen, there are 4 parts. The first part deals with political theory. The second part, 1B, deals with Indian politics. 2A deals with comparative politics, and 2B deals with India and the world. Right? So, what is the linkage between all of them? The linkage between all of them, which you will find only in a subject like PSIR. So, PSIR is that one of the unique subjects you will find in the whole of this syllabus that deals with not only theory, but it deals with action also. In the political space, or in the space of administration, there are only two sub-subjects which deal with theory and action in the Indian political arena. One is public administration and next is political science largely, because they cover all the aspects of the state. And this demarcation is very, very well found in an option like political science, where 1A discusses about political theory and 1B discusses about application of political theory in Indian state. Clear examples can be seen in how different streams of political thought are applied in formation of Indian constitution. Similarly, in 2A, we deal with topics like international relations, especially you will see aspects of international issues like environmental issues, climate change and all these things. This you will find as an action in 2B, where how India's foreign policy in all these topics are there across multiple topics and institutions. Ante clear cut ka oka theory and action ni combined ga chadive topic political science. So you should not see it as 4 sections, rather you should see it as 2 sections studying together. This will actually reduce the burden of syllabus and also your pressure of preparing for your examination. This is the trick in political science, that you don't see them as individual sections but embedded sections which are there in both the papers. This is your mantra for success. So I could say one of the biggest lessons that you can take out from political science, at least from this class, is it is a very action-oriented paper backed by theory. Right? The more you create such linkages in your mind, the more you will be successful in remembering it and understanding the topic. Right? With that introduction, I want to, as a new age students, discuss with you about the statistics of the examination. Like what makes PSIR a good option? I have certain quantitative arguments to actually to see whether what is your, why we should take PSIR. The first argument is PSIR is a high scoring optional. Right? PSIR as a high scoring optional can be proved by these facts and statistics. One, over the years, it is consistently proved that 300 is a reachable target, or the paper is seeing marks like 300, and the toppers across the last 4 years, at least this year itself also, you can see the top rankers getting into PSIR. Like every optional, there is a ebb and a flow. Ebb and flow means there are some years where you get less marks, there are some years where you get high marks. Now PSIR is on the high trend. Right? You are fortunate you are in the age group, or you are in the years where PSIR's marks are again increasing. Right? It is again coming to the glory of the past. And second, irrespective of ebb and flow, it is historically proven that PSIR is among the top 3 scoring optionals in CSE examination. Right? It is among the top 3 scoring optionals in CSE examination. So this is one of the major reasons why you should take PSIR, because end of the day we are writing an examination to score marks. And in that, if we can get an optional that gives us nearly 60% marks, we are very much in sight for a rank in UPSC examination. Second interesting thing is the success rate. All of you want to write this examination to become successful, to be in that list, right? History has proven that the success rate for PSIR optional is above the average. This means, see the average success rate for students in last 2 years, 23-24. The success rate overall is just 5% for other optionals, but for PSIR it is nearly 8 to 10%. Right? So there are, at least it's a safe bet for you that on any given day, if you perform well, PSIR optional has higher chance to take you across the board. And see this interesting statistic in 2021, one of the high years of PSIR that out of 1200 students who have written mains or who have qualified mains, nearly 100 students were from PSIR optional. It is not just the number of people who take PSIR optional are high, the number of people who end up selecting is also high. దానికి ఒక ఆప్షనల్ మంచి ఆప్షనల్ కాదా అనేది మెట్రిక్ ఏంటంటే ఎంతమంది మెయిన్స్ ఆప్షనల్తో రాస్తున్నారు, ఎంతమంది సెలెక్ట్ అవుతున్నారు. ఇన్ పిఎస్సిఆర్స్ కేస్ బోత్ ఆఫ్ దెమ్ ఆర్ ఆన్ ది హయ్యర్ సైడ్ ఆర్ ఆన్ ది అబోవ్ యావరేజ్ సైడ్, రైట్? యూ మస్ట్ అండర్స్టాండ్ దట్. దెన్ ద థర్డ్ పాయింట్ and a very student friendly point is there is a very high chance of repeatability of topics. PSIR kunde inherent advantage ఏంటంటే అట్లీస్ట్ 40 to 50% of the questions in examinations ni either మనం ప్రీవియస్ ఇయర్ ట్రెండ్స్ కానీ కరెంట్ అఫైర్స్లో ఉండే డైనమిక్స్ వల్ల కానీ మనం కార్నర్ చేయొచ్చు. దానివల్ల దాన్ని మనం ముందే ప్రిపేర్ అవ్వచ్చు. వెన్ యూ ఆర్ మోర్ ప్రిపేర్డ్ ఇన్ అడ్వాన్స్ ఇన్ అహెడ్ ఆఫ్ ది ఎగ్జామినేషన్, there is a higher chance that you can crack the paper easily, right? So this is one of the third advantages you can talk about PSIR, that there is an extremely high repeatability, right? 40 to 50% are repeatable and predictable. Fourth is I think so many of your seniors or so many of the market will tell you why PSIR is a good optional, because of its extreme overlap. ఎందుకంటే పిఎస్ఐఆర్ అనే ఆప్షనల్ తీసుకున్నట్టయితే మీరు GS2కి సపరేట్గా ప్రిపేర్ చేయాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. ఈవెన్ ఎ సపోర్టర్ ఆఫ్ పిఎస్ఐఆర్ ఆర్ ఈవెన్ ఎ క్రిటిక్ ఆఫ్ పిఎస్ఐఆర్ విల్ అగ్రీ విత్ దిస్ పాయింట్, దట్ ఇఫ్ యూ టేక్ దిస్ ఆప్షనల్ you need not separately prepare for general studies too, because the whole of 1B part and 2B part overlaps with your GS2. In fact, you will have even more proficiency in writing GS2 because of your knowledge in 1B and 2B of this paper. So this is something which no one in this examination or no one in the market can ever counter argue, because of the overlap in the examinations. The second thing is, as already Krupadanam sir said, history is past politics. Politics is present history, right? The politics and the philosophy in this paper is so important that you end up becoming good writers, good conceptual writers. This conceptual writing will help in two major papers. One is essay. Because of your wide knowledge of philosophy, history and current politics, you become eventually good writers in your essay paper, because essay needs perspectives. And because of your study of history, current politics and dynamics of Indian society, you will become naturally good writers. This is also another point no one can deny about PSIR topic. Third and then extremely important point is the philosophy that you learn in this topic, especially Western political philosophy, Indian political philosophy, and many other ideologies like communism, socialism, and all these ideologies will make you good in ethics paper. Endukani the whole of ethics paper is centered around human values, right? Human values and their opinions about different aspects of a society. That is what philosophy and political philosophy is about, right? So these are some of the arguments you can say very much about PSIR. One more thing we can say is actually the structured syllabus. This is what the first point I talked about. First point is that the ability to understand the paper in terms of a theory and action. Both myself and Krupadanam sir, you can see we came from science backgrounds, but we could excel in political science. One of the reason is this paper requires more of ability to understand the concepts and link it with day-to-day affairs. It is not rocket science or you need an objective mind to understand this paper, but rather a clear-cut ability to understand the concepts and apply it on the ground or relate to day-to-day activities. Endukani మీరు పేపర్ తీస్తే మీకు టాప్ టు బాటమ్ మీకు అన్ని కనిపించేవి news with respect to politics or Indian state or affairs of the state, which is nothing but politics. అసలు యాక్చువల్లీ పాలిటీ అనే డెఫినేషన్ అంటే ఏంటి? పాలిటీ ఇట్ సెల్ఫ్ మీన్స్ ఆల్ దోస్ టాపిక్స్ దట్ డీల్స్ విత్ పాలిస్. పాలిస్ ఈజ్ అన్ ancient word for city or state. So everything under the state comes under political science. So all the topics on you see on a day-to-day affairs are covered in this topic. Right? So, and other thing is you have a lot of resources available on this topic, right? You go back and see there are a lot of resources and guidance with respect to political science. Here also you see extremely experienced faculty is dealing with political science because it's an old optional. The nature of the paper has been clearly covered in this topic, right? So now you can say, sir, you are telling all good things only with respect to political science. Is it not there are issues? Because only good things are there, then all will take only political science. Why not everyone is taking political science? So it is our duty to tell you the other side also and give a solution for that. Not just tell you the problem, but give the solution also. It is commonly said it's a very, very lengthy syllabus. But as I said, initially itself you can get into your mind the philosophy of theory and action together. That study and 1A 1B together. Like whenever they are teaching you 1A, link it with current affairs or understand it on the ground. Whenever 1B you are teaching, go back regularly to 1A. If you deal with this aspect, we are very confident in that in 6 to 8 months of time, you can create a very good understanding of this topic. If not, if you are reading 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B separately without discipline, then it will be a nightmare for you because you have not created the interlinkages during your preparation phase or your coaching phase itself. So we would say length, the solution is interlinkages, right? And that will happen in the class only. When you come to the class, regularly listen to the class, ask the faculty the doubt, because at R.C.Reddy we are not just having only classroom, we are having hand holding also. Like I will be constantly available for you in 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B topics. Whenever you want, we can actually, like weekly once, we have chances to set up mentoring schedules. Like let us suppose you have a set of doubts. On the weekend, you can talk to me saying that, sir, these are the doubts I have in the weekend. How do we clarify these doubts? Either it can be conceptual in terms of preparation strategy, in terms of note making. We will be available every week to clear your doubts. And this will happen throughout your course phase. Second, requires writing skill. Sir, I am a science student. I have not come from civics background, nor I have taken political science ever in my life. Do you think I will have enough writing skill for this examination? The answer is yes. We would say it is difficult initially for you to write. We are not hiding any fact from you. Initially it is difficult to write because of the terminology and the concepts that are present in a subjective topic. This is not a completely objective topic like maths, physics, etc. But it's a subjective topic. But the advantage with this topic is, as in when you write and understand these concepts, you will see that there is a flow. There is a flow in each of these topics, right? An example, I will give a very, very small example. There are a set of humans. All these set of humans should be organized together. So hence they formed a government. Once they formed a government, they felt that this government should not have absolute powers. Hence they said not just one organ, there should be 3 organs of government. That is legislature, executive and judiciary, because there cannot be concentration of power. Once you have legislature, executive and judiciary, it is what is called separation of powers theory. Right? అంటే ఏంటి? కాన్సెప్ట్ చాలా సింపుల్. హ్యూమన్స్ కెనాట్ ఆర్గనైజ్ దెమ్సెల్ఫ్. ఆర్గనైజ్ చేసుకోలేరు కాబట్టి ఒక సెటప్ కావాలి. ఆ సెటప్ని గవర్నమెంట్ అన్నాం. ఆ గవర్నమెంట్లో కూడా మొత్తం పవర్ ఒకళ్ళ దగ్గర ఉండకూడదు కాబట్టి వేరే ఆర్గన్స్ అన్నాం. ఆ వేరే ఆర్గన్స్ని లెజిస్లేచర్, ఎగ్జిక్యూటివ్, జ్యుడిషియరీ అన్నాం. ఆ ముగ్గురికి కూడా వాటి పవర్స్ ఇచ్చింది సపరేషన్ ఆఫ్ థియరీ కాన్సెప్ట్ అన్న. అలాగా ఒక స్టోరీలా రాయడం అనేది మీరు నేర్చుకున్నట్టయితే ఇట్ విల్ బి ఈజియర్, రైట్, రాదర్ జస్ట్ డంపింగ్ డేటా. వి సీ అ లాట్ ఆఫ్ స్టూడెంట్స్ డంప్ డేటా, అందుకనే వాళ్ళకి దాంట్లో మార్క్స్ రావు. Third one, sir, dynamic topics, they're very difficult to predict, sir, because there you said everything under the sun is politics, so it is very difficult for us. Here the advantage comes is, one thing is your previous year questions, and two things, second thing is your constant, you should constantly interact with the faculty here, because one, previous year questions and syllabus give you a direction on what kind of questions can come. I think I have already told this in class. One of the example is, in 2B, there is a topic called India and Major Powers, where they say United States, China, France, Russia, and the UK. You can go back and see previous year questions, I can vouch. Apart from these major powers, there was never a question that came out of it. So you can comfortably predict with good level of accuracy what is the level of topics are going to come. And second, how are the faculty going to help? With their experience of seeing the question paper for so many years, they can probably give you a list of topics that you can prepare in advance for your examination, right? That third one, a very important point, sir, is it not common optional means more competition and there can be a plateau of marks? That means most of them will be in the 250 to 270 range. I would say yes, your concern is very much true. You will see a lot of students in PSIR in the 250 to 270 range. One of the primary reason being their inability to value add their answers. ఎందుకంటే ఒక ఎవాల్యుయేటర్ కూడా అందరూ సిమిలర్ టైప్ ఆఫ్ ఆన్సర్స్ రాస్తున్నట్టయితే సిమిలర్గా మార్క్స్ వస్తాయి. Unless until they take that extra effort in the class or in the mentoring classes that we are providing, value added classes providing, akkada additional value addition provide cheskopote, you cannot expect that you will cross that glass ceiling to get more than 270 marks and run towards 300. So the funda is, yes, there are challenges, but all these challenges can be overcome with structure, learning and practice, right? So finally, I would say yes, you should choose your PSIR optional. If you have interest in topics like polity, international affairs and current affairs, yes, you should choose it. I would say is one of the best optional if you have interest in them. Second, you should have an interest. If not now, you should have an interest to write more. You should have the interest to write more and analyze the current political events. Right? You see a lot of people in TVs or at chai shops analyzing without much knowledge. I can say if you take a PSIR optional, you will be the best analyzer of all of them because of the level of perspectives that you are going to get. So even if you not have today, you should have the ability or willingness to do it. Next, you can say that this optional will give you advantages in your GS essay and interview. Finally, this is a very good subject for people who want to merge static theory and dynamic application. So with that, I can say that in 7 months, you can actually finish these things. This is what we can say. From in the first stage, the 4-stage approach that we will follow. In the first stage, we will have the foundation building from August to November. Like as sir said, from August 1st, the classes will start. In 4 to 5 months, we will give you good theoretical understanding along with the linkages that are present in the syllabus. In the second stage, we will have the integration. The more current or dynamic topics will be interlinked with all these things. In the third stage, we will even help you with some kind of in-class answer writing where you can write and test your topics. And finally, we say what is called the final punch. In that, we will see you have notes for each and every topic. You have a clear understanding of what is dynamic integration and how to write answers. In this way, we will try to provide you with that cumulative approach in a 7 months period of time. So that is what I can say. And this is something additional you can take home. These are some of the sources that you can use. But I can say there is no better source than the classroom for this subject, because all these topics are brought together and given to in the class. I think with that I will take leave and I will ask Ratnakar sir to dwell on a topic that is of more interest, create interest to you and understand how our classes are taken. Thank you.
So good morning, students. As you have been introduced into this subject, so how many of you have already made a decision to join PSIR? Okay, you joined this institute? Yes. You are already part of that one.
Our batch did not started, but critical admission.
Okay, so you'll be joining, right? One thing as Vishwanath said is, PSIR is the most popular optional. You may be knowing about it because the first 2 ranks this year are from, and they are also girls. And regularly, if you say, in the top 20 ranks or in the top 5, there won't be a rank without PSIR. Why is that? Vishwanath had made a detailed explanation about that. Why is that? Because you will be benefited a lot with this subject. And you have to develop interest towards the government, your society, your state, or the people across you. Why should you do that? Do you have interest in the government? Do you have interest in the politics? Even if you don't have, you have to do that because you have chosen civil services. Civil service means you are going to become part of the government. So if you are going to become part of the government, which means you must develop interest towards your government. Not only you, everybody who choose any other optional must develop their interest towards the government, towards the society, towards the state, towards the people across you. Around you. So for that purpose, you must at least study some bit of political science in your civil service preparation. Some bit of political sciences, like you have to study in your essay paper, all the reflective essays or the which will test your psychological aspect. You have to write about that. Where will you get that content in political thought? Right from Plato, Socrates, Aristotle, and all these people have developed this thought. Machiavelli had said something, Gandhi had said something, Ambedkar had said some good things. All these are taught in which subject? Political science. So if you don't want to study political science also, you have to study it as part of your essay. You have to study it as part of your, in the history paper also, in the modern India, these aspects are there in part B. Paper 1, part B, you have that history aspect. So that means your history sir also is your PSIR sir, because he will teach you what? Modern India. And your polity sir also is a part of your PSIR sir, because part B is completely polity only. And your perspective is completely different compared to the normal student, because normal student is not getting good marks in paper 2. Like out of the 250 marks in that paper 2, how much they are getting? How much each student is getting, normal student? Some of the students who went to interviews are getting only 50 to 70 marks in paper 2, because they don't have the complete grasp of polity or international relations. That you will have the advantage if you study political science. So that is why people prefer political science, and your IR paper is completely in part B. So that is why political science has been and will be, and in future also, it will be always be a popular optional, because it is one of the most important thing is not just about the marks, but about the interest it generates, about the curiosity it generates. Like for example, Socrates said, Socrates is considered as the most intelligent man because he thinks he doesn't know anything. Understand? So you must think on that lines. So you are empty pots. You don't have anything. So you have the best advantage because you will fill it. But if you are a half-filled pot, Like if you think I know so many things, I know so many things about this government, I know so many things about this country. What is the name of this country?
I don't know.
What is the name of this country? The name of this country, tell me now. You are living in this country for...
India, Bharat, that is called India.
That is the name of this country. How many of Indians know? How many of the 146 crore Indians know the real name of this country? How many of you voted in the election? Acha. So only 4 people are above 18 here. You didn't vote in the election. You voted, no? What is the system called? What is the system of voting you did? What is it called? It is called as first past post system. So you have to study all those things. You have to study the complete aspect around each and every concept. Then only you'll get marks. That is what the difference we make in coaching. You think you know everything. I said you shouldn't think like that. Because you know only a very few things. Don't worry about it. Your MLA also doesn't know through which system he got elected. But you should be knowing all those things. Right? So, and one more advantage is, if you, like Vishwanath said, if you practice PYQs, no, most of the times, you will get 55% of the questions. Just from the last, sometimes it may be 60 also. So, without taking any coaching, just by practicing PYQs, you can get 55% of the question. But marks means you require practice, you require writing skill and all those things. And coming to the class, I will be dealing about this concept, that is comparative political analysis and international politics. The practical part Vishwanath will deal. So in this comparative perspective, so this is a static part actually, and everything is a static part here, but you have to connect this static part, or you can connect this static part with the dynamic part. Like Vishwanath said, every part is interlinked here. Every part. Like for example, Iran-Israel conflict happened. And why Israel was able to attack Iran like that? Why Israel was able to attack Iran like that? Because Iran was not ready for that. So, Machiavelli long back said, a king, that means Iranian Khomeini or the president, must be like a lion and fox. Fox to understand the traps of their enemies. It's crystal clear that Iran's number one enemy is who? Who is Iran's number one enemy? America and Israel also. When Khomeini came to power in 1939, first word he said was, America is the Satan of the world. With that, the relations between Iran and America have broken. So that means it was very much clear that for Iran, who is the enemy? America is the enemy. So they were talking with America. The talks were being conducted. And the Churchill Iran and America. So Iran was coolly waiting about the outcome of the talks. In the meantime, through Israel, America attacked Iran. Had they read about Machiavelli, that a king should be like a fox, understanding the traps of the enemy, they could have been more careful. No? So that is how you can write that example. In political thought, you can write when you are dealing with Machiavelli. Write the example of Iran. And this is one of the topics in paper 2 part A, which I'll be dealing, which you can link it with part B, like how Vishwanath said, and part A also. Like realist. Who is a realist? Who will be frankly telling you that what is the reality? What is the reality? Like, don't trust anybody. If you have money friends will be more because they are not real friends. They are after they are loving your money, but not you. That is blunt, no, to say that. But is that real or not? A large extent it is real. So the realists are those people who talk like that. So realists have said national interest is the most important thing. That means a country will be bothered only about his nation. Donald Trump is the best friend of Narendra Modi. Both of them hugged so many times. In the recent past, Donald Trump hugged Modi than his wife more, maybe. In the recent past. But what happened? What happened? Modi was in Canada. Donald Trump was hugging the Pakistani general. Very recently we had a war, brief war with Pakistan. And we were very angry with that army general. We were not angry with the Prime Minister because we know Prime Minister is a dummy in Pakistan. And that army general is treated by Donald Trump with a dinner. Dinner with the king of the world. America, president is obviously the king of the world. Dinner with the king of the world is honor, no? And whom he gave that honor to? Our enemy, Modi's enemy. Modi was hurt, he did not go there. Why America did that? Till yesterday you are best friends. Today you call your enemy and give him a dinner. Because for Donald Trump, what is important? National interest is important. He requires the support of Pakistan immediately because Iran is being attacked by Israel and pounded by America. So America need a base. That base can be from Pakistan. So forget about Modi. Let Modi think whatever he wants. What Donald Trump is concerned about. So that is what you can write that example here. You can write that example. And balance of power is in the national interest of USA. So why it attacked Iran? Because it wants to balance, it wants to reduce the power of Iran so that Israel power is balanced. American power is balanced. Saudi Arabia and all these countries who are friends of America, they don't fear Iran. That is why America did that. And that is why they are doing a trade war with her. They have done already a trade war with China because they don't want China to grow. They will say everybody should grow. What? That is a statement of everybody, no? Everybody. But that's not a reality. That's not a reality. They want to crush China. That is why he is warning BRICS countries. BRICS countries are, who is the leader of the BRICS countries? No need to. China is the leader. When China is in a group without America, obviously China is the leader. China is the number 2 country. Russia's power was gone long back. So China is the leader. Part of BRICS, but who is the leader? Unannounced leader. Who is the most powerful country in the BRICS group?
So as far as concerned, compared to America,
Russia is not a powerful country now. The number 2 country in the world now is China for the last 10 years. So Russia is nowhere in picture when it comes to economy or dominance. It's China only. So to control China, America is trying to impose all these sanctions and warning that BRICS countries, if we have relations, we are going to take action. That is to balance China. And so we can write the example attitude of the American president after that. And struggle for power. China and America are now in a regular struggle for power. And anarchy. Anarchy means that the world is filled with wars always. Like if you look at this particular point, Gaza is at war. India, Pakistan are always in a war-like situation. Middle East got badly battered because of the Arab Spring Revolt from 2010. 2010, December 17, Arab Spring Revolt started. The effect of Arab Spring Revolt can be felt even in December 2024 also. Because of the Arab Spring Revolt, there was a change of guard in Syria. Syrian president and his father, they were ruling from 1971. And now what happened? Suddenly, Syria was supported by Russia. And Syria had the support of Iran also. And suddenly what happened? Now the new president is friend of America. So topsy-turvy, everything changes happened. You can write that also. Ukraine occupation of Russia and the recent developments. And next one, this is another theory of realists, security dilemma. So this dilemma is always there. You can write the example of Finland and Sweden joining NATO. Why they joined? Till now they haven't joined. Despite they being friends of America and the western parts, they didn't join. Now, once Russia occupied Ukraine, they went and immediately joined because of the concept. So you can write these examples regularly. And continuous conflict is inherent in the inherent feature of internationalists. Who said that? Kautilya said that. Long back, you can write a quotation of Kautilya. Kautilya said that interstate relations are a state of constant warfare. Don't you find it? Don't you find that interstate relations are, state means countries. Relations are constant. Who said that? Kautilya said that. And you require the strength of a lion to prevail over it. Nehru thought being peaceful is enough. We need not have any other arms or something like that. No need to bolster that. But Nehru failed. Because Nehru failed to follow what Kautilya had said. So you must have strength. His daughter realized that. Then, ends are important than means according to realists. Result is important. Result is, how you get that result is not important. According to realists. I'm talking about according to realists. So you can write the quotation of Machiavelli. He stressed the supremacy of national interest, asserting that anything is justified in the interest of. So you have to write your answers like this. Quoting the latest incidents, quoting some thinkers, and the latest aspect. So that is how polity will generate or rake up a lot of interest, political science and international relations. So this is an exciting optional where you will be learning so many great, different things. And obviously, after you study, your mind also will improve. Now the pattern has changed after 2013. The pattern has changed because they wanted creative persons. And where is the creativity lying in UPSC civil service paper? It's in political science. You will become a better person even if you don't get civil services if you study political science. You can get better understanding of things. Okay? Anyway, you have chosen to come to political science. You have taken a good decision. The only thing you have to do is you must make a continuous, constant effort. You must be in touch with us. And you must follow the classes properly. That will be enough because it will help you. Like you may not get more marks like anthropology. At least anthropology will get 10 or 15 more marks than you. I mean, if you and anthropologists study very well, both students, they may get. But they won't get marks in GS paper 2. Where you can score more marks than them. They won't get marks like you in ethics. They may not get marks like you in essay paper. And also your preparation time will come down. If you study one optional in PSIR, you don't need to prepare much in GS2. Prepare much in 4 and also essay. So study that, keep that in mind and try to make the best of the advantage that you have already taken. Okay? So we'll conclude the class here. So we'll start the classes from August 1st. They'll inform you. So we'll travel from there. Okay? All the best.